Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture, we warmly welcome you to the 7th Convocation. I am Hina Pasha from the Department of Architecture, 6th semester.
I'm Prof from the Architecture Department, 6th semester.
You are requested to be seated as the Convocation procession will begin at 11 a.m.
Convocation procession will consist of a total of 56 graduating students, 17 from the Faculty of Architecture, 21 from the Department of Textile Design, 14 from the Department of Communication Design, and 4 from the Faculty of Fine Arts. This is the 7th graduating class of the Faculties of Design and Fine Arts, and the 6th graduating class of the Faculty of Architecture. In the procession behind the graduating students are the part-time faculty and the full-time faculty, followed by the coordinators and heads of departments.
Members of the Executive Committee and members of the Board of Governors will then follow. Lastly, the Chairman of the Executive Committee, Syed Aqil Bilgrami, will escort the keynote speaker, Professor Hamza Alavi. The Executive Director, Mr. Shahid Aziz Siddiqui, will escort the Chairman of the Board of Governors, Justice Retired Wajiuddin Ahmad.
The design for our convocation robes is based on the aba, which was worn on ceremonial occasions in the Mughal courts. The material selected is the handloom susi, traditionally woven in Sindh. It is embroidered in patterns evolved from Mughal designs. The headgear is a combination of Mughal turban and the hunza cap, worn even today by both men and women of the northern mountainous areas.
All participants of the procession wear off-white khadi shalwar kameez woven at the school campus by master weaver Abdul Wahid. The theme music for the convocation was specially composed for the Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture by sitar maestros Ustad Imdad Hussain and his son Ikhlaq Hussain. It is based on Rag Malhar and was performed live by them at our first convocation in 1994.
Each year, a special exhibition is arranged by the school on the occasion of the convocation. Among these exhibits were exhibition of 64 prominent artists, private collection of Mr. Wahab Jafar, and retrospective paintings of late Professor Zahul Ikhlaq. This year, we will exhibit the thesis work of the graduating students, as was done last year. The tradition of planting a fruit tree on the campus by the graduating class will continue this year. The new graduates will plant a chiku tree at the conclusion of the convocation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the convocation procession is about to commence.
First year students sing the national anthem.
The Registrar will request the Chairman of the Board of Governors to declare the convocation open.
May I request you to declare the convocation open?
I declare the convocation open.
We begin with the recitation of the Holy Quran by Naveed Salam, 6th semester architecture student.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون صدق الله العظيم.
This recitation was from Surah Hashr. The English translation is presented by Zainab Ali Rasool, a student of the 6th semester from the Department of Textile Design.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, ever merciful. O ye who believe, be mindful of your duty to Allah, and let everyone look to that which He lays up for the morrow. Fear Allah. Verily, Allah is well aware of that which you do. Be not like those who forgot Allah, and in consequence, He caused them to forget their own true interests. It is they that are the rebellious. The inmates of the fire and the inmates of the garden are not alike. It is the inmates of the garden who will triumph. Had we sent down this Quran on a mountain, thou wouldst certainly have seen it bend down in humility and rent asunder in awe of Allah's majesty. These are illustrations that we set forth for mankind, that they may reflect.
The Executive Director of Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture, Mr. Shahid Aziz Siddiqui, will now present the welcome address.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Chairman, Justice Retired Wajiuddin Ahmed, members of the Board of Governors and the Executive Committee, the Convocation Speaker, Professor Hamza Alavi, faculty, students, honorable parents and friends, Assalamu alaikum. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you this morning to the 7th Convocation of the Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture. Today's ceremony marks the successful culmination of the formal academic teaching of the last graduating class of this millennium. Our guest speaker, Professor Hamza Alavi, is a scholar of great eminence. A son of Karachi, educated at Karachi, Pune, Aligarh, and the London School of Economics, Professor Alavi served as Secretary to the Central Board of the State Bank of Pakistan. In 1953, he moved into academic life in England. Professor Alavi has taught at the universities of Sussex, Leeds, and the University of California, Los Angeles, in the disciplines of social anthropology, political science, and comparative history. He has also served as Rector, Department of Sociology, National University of Malaysia. Professor Alavi's work on the peasantry, theory of the state, structure of colonial capitalism, and the formation of the social structure of colonized societies in transition has opened new vistas for social scientists. His writings on the post-colonial state have been widely studied. The work, Peasants and Revolution, 1965, has had a major impact on the subject. This work was followed 4 years later by a virtually identical effort by Professor Eric Wolf. The paradigm has been dubbed the Alavi-Wolf thesis and has been debated vigorously for the last 3 decades. More recently, Professor Alavi has been concentrating on the social and political history of Muslims in South Asia and the Khilafat movement. Professor Hamza Alavi's various writings have been translated into French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic, Bahasa Indonesia, and Japanese. A collection of Urdu translations of various articles, albeit with some unfortunate translation errors, has recently been published from Lahore. Professor Alavi has now come home to the city of Karachi, and it is with great pride and a sense of elation that we welcome him today at the Indus Valley School. This is a great honor, sir, that you have bestowed on us. The presence of a scholar of Professor Alavi's eminence underscores the association of the school to the men of letters. Earlier, Indus Valley School has seen Professor Karar Hussain, Dr. Iqbal Ahmed, Dr. Akhtar Hamid Khan, and Mr. Khalid Isaq, who have graced this function with their presence. The school is therefore fortunate for being the forum to which these giants of the academic world have given their support and regard. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture, in our perception, is more than just an institution. It is a quest of some concerned citizens who got together a decade ago to give to this great city the exciting prospect of training our young people in the fields of art, architecture, and design. But more than that, it is also desired to bring forth technically and aesthetically literate citizens who are, above all, good human beings. Professor Karar Hussain was the first chairman of the Board of Governors from 1991 to 1994 and needs no introduction. He was succeeded by Dr. Akhtar Hamid Khan, who was a pillar of strength and a source of great inspiration at the Indus Valley. Our outgoing chairman, Mr. Hamid N. Jafar, is not only a founder member of this institution, but also a highly reputed Pakistani in the field of business, corporate affairs, and philanthropy. During his incumbency, he has guided the school with great sagacity and vision. In his relaxed and calm manner, he has been available both for direction and advice in the affairs of the school. He has a special interest in a core group of alumni of the school, which are to be trained and are to be associated with the institution. As we look ahead, we see the alumni ultimately guiding the affairs of the school in line with the mission statement in the years to come. We are grateful to Mr. Hamid Jafar for his time and look forward to his continued support and interest, not only as a founder member, but also now as the next chairman of the Board of Governors. I take this opportunity to welcome Justice Retired Wajiuddin Ahmed as the new chairman of the Board of Governors. Justice Wajiuddin Ahmed needs no introduction. He has been the Advocate General of Sindh, the Chief Justice of Sindh, and a judge of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. As an outstanding citizen of Karachi, Justice Wajiuddin Ahmed has shown his great love for the city by accepting to be the 4th chairman of the Board of Governors of the Indus Valley School. As we enter the next millennium, we look forward to his support and guidance for the next 3 years. We also welcome my predecessor, Sayyid Akil Bilgarami, who assiduously guided the affairs of the school during his tenure of the last 3 years, Mr. Arshad Abdullah, Mr. Arshad Abdullah, Mr. Farooq Somar, and Dr. Parvez Hootboy to the Board of Governors. We hope that their experience and wisdom will further enrich the Indus Valley mission. The Indus Valley School is a non-commercial, not-for-profit institution and has now completed a decade of its existence. Many of the founders have told me that they feel humbled when entering the portals of this institution. Very few of us live to see their dreams realized, and yet this group of 10 individuals has proved that given determination and commitment, society does respond to a challenge. The aim of the founders was not simply to create a structure of bricks and mortar. In a small way, the school has tried to make this point. About 20% students receive, during a span of just 10 years, the strength of students of the school has risen from 46 to 310. About 20% students receive financial assistance in the form of Qarz-e Hasana, half of whom receive to the extent of their full tuition fee. This year, a sum of rupees 2.4 million has been committed for this purpose. In accordance with the school's policy, names of the recipients as well as of those of the contributors to the fund is kept strictly confidential. The school continues to make available the best possible education in architecture and visual arts. Merit continues to be our only determining factor in the admission process and the subsequent performance of the student. We hope that in our own humble way, we can and we are adhering to the standards set by the founders. During the last year, the school has participated in a broad spectrum of various activities. Kore Varq, a major fundraiser for the Nusrawanji building, conceived and directed by Mrs. Noorjahan Bilgarami, founder member, was a great success in September this year and has raised a substantial amount towards the completion of the project. As you can see, the east wing of the building is nearly complete, and we hope to start work on the west wing early next year. Given the continued support of the Friends of Indus Valley in particular and the citizens of Karachi in general, the entire campus should be available to the students and faculty by the end of next year, inshallah. We place on record our profound appreciation of Mr. Diwan Muhammad Yusuf Farooqi, Minister for Housing, Town Planning and Industries, Government of Sindh, for his donation of Rs 3 million for one floor of the west wing of Nusavanji building. He joins a long list of donors who have contributed to the noble cause of education in our city. In the second Fukuoka Asian Art Premiere in Japan, a number of artists from the Indus Valley School have been shortlisted. Ruhi Ahmed, Huma Mulji, Asma Mandrawala, Ali Hassan Khan, Adila Suleiman, and Asif Mahmood, all alumni of the school, have indeed done us proud. David Aylesworth, our head of foundation here, as usual, continues to lead from the front on the Karachi as well as the international art scene. Nahid Yahya rejoined the foundation faculty and is teaching basic design. Many other faculty and alumni have held exhibitions in Karachi and abroad. Meher Afroz, Nazia Ijaz, Jabbar Gul, Samina Mansouri, and Naiza Khan have been active productively. Athar Jamal has been requested by Pasimon, Asian Literature, Arts and Culture, a magazine published 3 times a year in New York by Contemporary Asian Culture, to give his artwork to illustrate a short story by Shaukat Siddiqui, translated from Urdu by Sagari Sen Gupta. We are grateful to Syed Ahmad Wasif, Coordinator Department of Fine Arts, for setting very high standards of exhibitions hosted by the school. The ceramics department, led by Mr. S.M. Islam, was revived and made functional in January 2000. The course covers all the areas of ceramics, from the design of shape and surface decoration for handcrafted ware, through design for small-scale production in the creation of imaginative studio pottery. The career paths followed by ceramic graduates will be varied. Some can choose to work in studio workshops. Others will seek jobs as designers in the ceramic industry in the country and abroad. Some may choose a career in teaching or in other design-related areas. Recently, in view of the considerable demand, a 6-month workshop course has been started in the department. Altogether, the department has gone up from 1 to 13 students in the degree and workshop programs. The communication design department has been providing specialized help to various city institutions honorarily. After completing the signage project of the cardiovascular hospital, Mrs. Shiraz Vania, the coordinator, Mr. Muhammad Ali, a faculty member, and the students are now assisting Army Engineers 5 Corps for designing the signage of the Quaid-e-Azam Mausoleum project. The communication design department also has the honor of making this the first school to initiate production of music videos by its students. Three videos are expected to be aired on the PTV shortly. Babita Devani designed the logo of the Fatma Jinnah University. And won the first prize of ₹5,000. Server Musfi, a part-time faculty member, has been included in the Reader's Digest Who's Who. The students of the department continue to be highly active in the school's extracurricular activities. This year, all but one of the seats for the student council elections was won by the students of the communication design department. Two of our students, Sadia and Afifa, won the debate organized by the University Grants Commission in Islamabad. Ganda Banda, a musical band composed of the students of Indus Valley School, organized a fundraiser and collected rupees 25,000 rations and provisions for the drought victims of Thar and Balochistan. Through 3 concerts organized this year by the students of Iqbal Banu, Ali Haider and Hadiqa Kiani, and Abda Parveen, an amount of rupees 122,349 was raised for the Qarz-e Hasana Fund. Most of the invitation cards now being sent out from the school are being designed by the students of the Communication Design Department. The recent being that of Malia Shaukat for the lecture of Dr. Nomanul Haq at Rutgers University. Founder member and head of our textile design department, Mrs. Shahnaz Ismail, has been serving on the board of governors of National College of Art and is on their academic committee. She has recently been invited as a speaker representing Pakistan at the International Conference on Embroidery organized by the Crafts Council of India to be held in January 2001 at Hyderabad, Deccan. The Department of Textile Design offers students the option to major in weaving or print design. The faculty, which now includes 3 graduates of 1998, Saira Raza, Afshin Junejo, Imrana Raza, and David Preetham, along with the students, continue to serve the community by working closely with NGOs. They have worked with Roots for Equity, who are striving to uplift the socio-economic status of women in Qasba Colony, Karachi, with Sangi operating in Haripur and remote villages in the NWFP, and with the Karakoram Handicrafts Development Center in Hunza, providing basic design input to increase their product range. They have this year trained 3 weavers from Mansehra on handloom fabric production. The department constantly receives requests from textile mills and printing units for design inputs, and these are provided as and when feasible. 2 pit looms are now functional, which have increased the range of fabric construction. The alumni of the textile department are employed at Muhammad Farooq Textile Mills, Gul Ahmad, Naqshbandi, at fashion houses such as Shamil, teaching at the Textile Institute of Pakistan, and at AMI Fashion School. Khadi, the handloom house run by Shamoon Sultan, a graduate of 1996, has succeeded in providing approximately 150 jobs to weavers, dyers, besides increasing the awareness and appreciation of handloom cloth. Architect Najib Umar joined the school as full-time coordinator in the architecture department from July this year. In addition, the department consisting of senior architect Uwais Hassin, Christoph Pollack, and part-time faculty have brought out excellent results this year. A 10th semester student, Leena Ahmed, traveled to Kuala Lumpur to represent Pakistan at the Acacia in Students Conference 2000 in August. The students of 5th year semester did an architecture design workshop with architect Anjandanan from Sri Lanka. The department has been visited by other distinguished architects, Mr. Khairuddin Siddiq, Chairman of the Architects Council of India, Mr. Rupinder Singh, Mr. Arif Hassan, Dr. Noman Ahmed, and economist Dr. Syed Akbar Zaidi, and engineer Adnan Astar Ali. The school continues to assist the Consulate of Japan in Karachi in the construction of their consulate building after preparing feasibility for the design and construction. This first professional assignment carried out by the Department of Architecture has been greatly appreciated, and regular contact has been established with the Japanese consulate. The students of sixth semester plan to visit Egypt in February 2001 as part of their external trip. The school is working out the modalities of the project in consultation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our embassy in Cairo. We look forward to such assistance as possible from the distinguished friends of Indus Valley for this tour. Once again, this year, response by external examiners who came to assess the thesis projects of the graduating students has been highly encouraging. May I commend our faculty for the high level of commitment to teaching and to the school. The graduating students also have relentlessly worked to achieve their excellent results. This year, 56 students in various disciplines are graduating with laurels. We especially commend the fact that most of these are passing out with distinction. The results are communication design, 14 graduated, 3 with overall distinction, and 7 in thesis. Textile design, 21 graduated, 9 with overall distinction, and 14 in thesis. Fine arts, 4 graduated, 3 with overall distinction, and then 3 in thesis. Architecture, 17 graduated, 1 with overall distinction, and 6 in thesis. In spite of the swarms of mosquitoes that were inflicted on them by the neighborhood, as I suppose by us, the graduating students will appreciate that at another level we have all been highly supportive and have done our best for them. I would like to congratulate them and their proud parents and guardians. The work of our graduating students is on display today in the school. I would request the guests to take some time out from their schedule and enjoy the tremendous creativity of these young men and women. What can I tell you as you leave these portals to enter the ruthless world outside? Benjamin Disraeli once said that youth is a blunder, manhood a struggle, and old age a regret. But that is not how we see life at the Indus Valley. You will see the world in its many manifestations of hope, success, and despair. What Indus Valley has tried to teach you is to do your best wherever you are, to be humble and not to be judgmental towards others. Always remember that both success and failure are only a passing phase of life. And in the end, however you fare, your guiding aim should be to be at peace with yourself. You have to be your own greatest critic and leave it to others to heap the praises which I pray will follow you from step to step, inshallah. There are no isles beneath the winds. Your world is right here among the poor, the deprived, and the rejected. They are the ones you have been taught to help and support. You have lived these years in your classrooms without air conditioners or fancy furniture, eating simple food, taking buses and rickshaws to complete your assignments. We have tried not to pamper you because we wanted you to have a glimpse of the world you will live in. For only when you become a part of a society can you own it. Thank you, and may Allah be with you.
May I now request Professor Hamza Alavi to deliver the convocation address.
Mr. Chairman, guests, members of the school faculty, and graduate students of the school. Before I begin, may I just say that this is my first visit to the school campus, and as an old Karachiite, born and bred in this great city, it gladdens my heart to see a bit of old Karachi so miraculously transposed here. It couldn't be more appropriate. It couldn't be more appropriate because it is the, excuse me, it is the Jamshed Nasrwanji building, and all Karachiites will recall that great man who's done more than any other single person for this city. So I'm glad that in this way you have paid a tribute to the maker of modern Karachi. I feel greatly honored to be invited to address the 7th convocation of the Indus Valley School. I wish to thank you sincerely for giving me this privilege. As a lifelong student myself, I feel excited that I've been given an opportunity to speak to graduate students of the school who are at the threshold of their active and creative lives. The wild world outside that awaits the new graduates, young men and women, is full of difficult challenges as well as great opportunities. It is not a perfect world. There's much that is wrong with it. It is you who must deal with it with bold and creative minds. That is the challenge that awaits you. From what I know of this school, I'm sure that most of you have been trained to live by reason rather than by dogmas and formulas. Sadly, our educational system, by and large, has done little to encourage free and creative thought. You will encounter a great deal of dogmatism when you move into the world outside. Your professional work will have to include, therefore, the task of persuading your fellow countrymen to follow the light of reason and move into the modern world. One very difficult problem that you will have to contend with has to do with crude ways of interpreting what is represented to us as Islamic ideology. That has been reduced to some absurd formulas, especially during the Zia period, and imposed on our society rather crudely. We need, therefore, to understand the full implications of this as it affects us all. Let us consider the notion of Islamic architecture. After poetry, architecture is often taken to be the most advanced expression of Islamic art, especially the architecture of mosques. But when the idea of Islamic architecture is conceived these days, far too often it is taken to mean the banal idiom of the dome and the minaret. I'm sure that at this school you had many opportunities to discuss this theme of the dome and the minaret as symbols of Islamic architecture. Let's consider that briefly. It hardly needs to be said that Islam as a faith imposes no prescriptions that architecture must follow. Original Islam, as you will all know, came in the context of Bedouin nomadic society of Hijaz. It was a highly mobile society, for the nomads had to move constantly in search of fresh pasture. The material culture of that society, therefore, had to be limited to what they could load on the back of the camels. The question of architecture did not really arise until the emergence of an urbanized Muslim society following the conquest of the north. The Arabs had little experience of urban life. They learned much from their Byzantine predecessors. Much of that which passes today in the name of Islamic architecture is based on Byzantine foundations. The dome and the minaret are often taken to be the prime examples of Muslim architecture. and are held before us as examples to imitate. In what sense are they Islamic? Given the building materials and techniques that were available 1500 years ago, the dome was a good solution for constructing a large covered spaces without the intrusion of pillars. But that design had little to do with the faith itself. As an architectural device, it was used by the Romans and perfected by the Byzantines long before the newly urbanized Muslims took it over. Today, with new materials, technologies, and new solutions that are available, it is said that the dome produces, today it is said that the dome produces good, acoustics. But that purpose too can now be better realized by using new technologies. The only justification for the dome today could be an aesthetic one. The examples of medieval mosques that I've seen are indeed quite beautiful. Do use a dome in your design if you like the shape, but do not feel obliged to use it because you are told that it symbolizes Islam. We have developed an imitative culture, and we tend to imitate these symbols which are passed on without much thought and inquiry. In Pakistan today, we have gone overboard with the idea of imitating devices and methods that are practiced in medieval Muslim kingdoms as a way of Islamization, in quotation marks, Islamization. But we need to examine closely the Islamic status of these dynastic kingships, starting from the establishment of the Umayyads in 661 AD. True, they and those who came after them laid claim to Khilafat, but several eminent scholars of Islam have raised the question, are such claims valid? Criticism of these regimes of dynastic kinships by such scholars focuses on the fact that they came to power not through democratic election, but on the strength of military force. Moreover, they were based on exploitative social systems. In both these respects, they differ sharply from the Bedouin nomadic societies of original Islam under the Khulafa Rashidun. Those societies were by nature egalitarian. Political power in those societies of original Islam was democratic, and appointments to high office were by election. That was the nature of the society of the nomadic Bedouins. In both these respects, the societies of original Islam stood in marked contrast to the society and dynastic regime of medieval Islam, notwithstanding the fact that the rulers appropriated for themselves the label of Khilafat in order to legitimize their rule. Reputed Islamic scholars of different schools of thought have raised large questions about the Islamic character of these dynastic kingships. Maulana Maududi, the Islamic fundamentalist, was the most outspoken critic of these regimes. He called those rulers muluk, or kings, rather than khulafa. The establishment of the Umayyad dynasty, he writes, was inqilab makus. And in case the Western educated readers miss the point, he adds in English in the Urdu text, counter-revolution against original Islam. It was a negation of original Islam and return to Jahiliyyah, he said. Maududi adds, the Jahiliyyah did not come unveiled. It came under the guise of Islam. He writes, Musalman ban kar aayi. He adds that in that task of falsification of Islamic values and beliefs, our dunya parast ulama, and that's his phrase, as he puts it, greatly assisted. He argued that this counter-revolution against original Islam and the renewed Jahiliyyah, which was initiated by the Umayyads, remain in force until the abolition of the Ottoman Khilafat in 1924 by the Turkish Republican nationalists led by Mustafa al-Kemal, when they restored the elective principle. That is a terrible judgment. 1300 years for what is believed to be Islamic rule are wiped out by him from the pages of history in one stroke. Modi's criticism is based on the single issue of absence of democracy and achievement of power by these regimes on the strength of military power. And that many Muslims, Islamic scholars would recognize to be a very fundamental principle of Islamic political system. Iqbal has a famous article on that subject, which he published from of all the places my old University of Manchester, on the Islamic political system, which emphasizes just that principle. Maududi is not alone in arriving at such a shattering judgment. Ghulam Ahmad Parvez, an Islamic modernist, arrives at virtually identical conclusions, though he does not go quite so far as Maududi in saying that this was a reversion to Jahiliyyah. But he too condemns these regimes for abandoning the Islamic principle of democratic election and achieving power instead on the strength of the military. He says that these regimes had no right to call themselves Khilafat. A third major South Asian Islamic scholar, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, also criticizes these Muslim dynastic kingships. He confines his criticism to denouncing their false claims to Khilafat. He writes, Imam Hussain alayhi salam के ज़माने के बाद जिन लोगों ने इक़्तिदार हासिल किया, उन्होंने इस ख्याल से कि खलीफा का लफ्ज़ ज़्यादा मुक़द्दस है, अपने तहीं अपने आप को खलीफा के लफ्ज़ से ताबीर किया. He dismisses the idea that these self-arrogated leaders had any religious role or powers whatsoever. They were worldly rulers, he emphasized, and had nothing to do with the faith of Islam. A historical examination of these regimes shows that they were indeed secular regimes under dynastic kingship and not theocratic regime, despite the pretension to be the latter. Our traditional mullahs labeled Dunya Parast by Maududi obscure the basic issues raised by these noted scholars. They take the claims of these regimes at face value and glorify them in the name of Islam. So you have, in a way, a division of three great scholars who take one position, and the mullahs, who are traditionalists, take the other one. Maududi, in his sweeping judgment, misses what seems to me to be the most significant aspect of these societies, namely that by that time, the world of Islam was fragmented into different contending sects. Given these basic sectarian differences, theocracy would have required the imposition of one sectarian view over others. That too would have been undemocratic. Despite outward professions about enforcing the Sharia, these societies and states were therefore secular and on the whole tolerant. The word secular is mischievously translated into Urdu as ladiniyat. This must be emphasized that the word secular does not mean a negation of religion. Secularism is the opposite of theocracy. Whereas theocracy by its nature is monolithic, secularism tolerates a plurality of religious beliefs. It takes the view that different religious beliefs can freely coexist. It holds that it is not the business of the state to impose any particular belief on society. Faith and belief, it recognizes, dwell in the privileged domain of the individual conscience. It is not a matter that the state may encroach upon. As Sir Syed Ahmad Khan has pointed out, unlike the Roman Catholics, Islam did not decree the office of a pope, invested with authority to declare what is Islamic and what is not. Our own Shariat courts, on the other hand, are institutionalized popes with no sanction in Islam and who are not democratic, answerable to anyone. As Sir Sayyid Ahmad pointed out, a person's faith is his or her own prerogative, and no one has the right to impose any particular beliefs on any person. The state has no right to dictate on matters of faith. While acknowledging the element of validity in the criticism of our three scholars on the issue of democracy, there is no reason whatever to belittle the achievements of these medieval Muslim states and societies, so long as we do not take them to be true exemplars of Islam. A high level of secular culture was reached by them, especially during Al-Asr al-Dhahabi, the golden age of the Abbasid dynasty, notably in the time of Harun al-Rashid and his son Mamun. The world of learning expanded freely and vastly. An epoch of translation from foreign sources, including Indian texts, was followed by an age of creativity. Great progress was made in the fields of astronomy, mathematics, and geography, law, philology, linguistics, as well as medicine and philosophy. It was an age of reason and progress. It was also an age of tolerance. Interestingly enough, our bigoted mullah are critical of this age of reason. They glorify instead the latter period of decline when the Abbasid Caliphate became more dogmatic. The Pakistan movement too was from the start a secular movement. It calculated the demands of educated Indian Muslims who felt that they were losing ground, especially in appointments to jobs in government. Traditional mullahs who were hostile to the Pakistan movement were soon organized politically in the form of the Jamiat-ul-Ulama Hind, which was organized after World War I during the Khilafat movement under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. They systematically denounced and opposed the Muslim League. The Majlis-e-Ahrar even labeled the Qaid-e-Azam Kafir-e-Azam. Jamaat-e-Islami, when it was set up, joined the other mullah groups in denouncing the Pakistan movement. Mr. Jinnah, for his part, spelled out his secular vision of Pakistan on many occasions. His speech given on the 11th August 1947 to the newly established Constituent Assembly of Pakistan spelled out the secular vision of Pakistan and Pakistan ideology in crystal clear terms. That secular commitment was reiterated by Liaquat Ali Khan in his speech to the Constituent Assembly when he moved the objective resolution in March 49. He said, "The people are the real recipients of power. This naturally eliminates the danger of the establishment of theocracy." So, after the creation of Pakistan, the mullah lobby began to change its tune. They turned round and now claimed that it was they who had won Pakistan, and that they had done so in order to create an Islamic state to be ruled by mullahs. In the last few decades especially, there has been a tendency to substitute Pakistan ideology as enunciated by Mr. Jinnah by a new mullah's version. This was first done by General Sher Ali Khan when he was the minister under General Yahya Khan in '69. It was General Zia, however, who carried the logic of such a stance to the extreme and who has done more than anyone else to turn Pakistan into a mediocre medieval state, more backward even than medieval Muslim state that I mentioned earlier. Because the earlier Muslim state were at least creative and forward-looking, that is, some of them. Such distortions by the ideologue of some illegitimate regimes that have in the past come to power in our country have been inscribed in our textbooks given to our children that are written to falsify our history. It's appalling to read some of these textbooks. The truth is obscured from their eyes by a wall of falsehoods. That wall has to come down. You will have to grapple with this problem as you move into the real world. In that struggle, your best weapons will be reason and truth. But truth has to be searched for and uncovered. So keep an open mind. We need to retrieve the vision that can extricate us from a present morass and lead us on to greatness. So as you go out from this great institution to confront the outside world, I offer you my best wishes. Thank you.
I will now request the coordinator of the Faculty of Architecture, Mr. Najib Umar, to read out the citation and present the candidate from the Faculty of Architecture to the Chairman of the Board of Governors for the award of degrees.
थोड़ा सा आगे हो जाए इसी की डिग्री अवार्ड करने हैं यहाँ थोड़ा सा आगे हो जाए that's right sir I didn't have to pass out yes great बाद में
Sir, I present to you the students who have been examined and have qualified for the degree of Bachelor of Architecture in the Faculty of Architecture, to which I pray they may be admitted. Afshin Teli. Afshin secured a distinction in her thesis project. Asim Imran Rawalpindiwala. Asim also secured a distinction in his thesis. Bushra Parvez Akhtar. Farina Noorani. Hina Harun Razi. Hina secured a distinction in her thesis project. Leena Ahmad. Marukh Alam. Marukh also got distinction in her thesis project. Mariam Karar. Masuma Mohib. Muhammad Ahmad Khan. Shahzadi Zadi. Shahzadi is also a distinction student for the thesis project. Sunila Akhtar Ali. Syed Haider Raza. Tariq Mahmood. Zarmin Ismail Noor. Zarmin secured a distinction in her thesis project and also passed with overall distinction. Zahin Shah. Ahmad Hussain. Thank you very much, sir.
Mrs. Shiraz Wania, Coordinator of the Department of Communication Design, will now read out the citation and present the candidates from the Department of Communication Design, the Chairman of the Board of Governors, for the award of degrees.
Sir, I present to you the students who have been examined and have qualified for the degree of Bachelor of Design in the Department of Communication Design, to which I pray they be admitted. Afifa Batul, should I wait? Alfia Badruddin, Aisha Uzair, distinction in thesis. Babita Dawani, Babita had a thesis distinction and passes with an overall distinction. Faisal Akbar Ali Rajpur, distinction in thesis. Farah Farooq, distinction in thesis. Hira Kamal, Mohammad Imran Khan, Mehreen Hassan, Umar Hussain, distinction in thesis. Rizwan Ahmad Malik, distinction in thesis and pass with overall distinction. Sadia Qutbuddin, distinction in thesis and pass with overall distinction. Tanya Mariam Shah, Sadia Arif Manzoor. I think Sadia is not here. Thank you. Thank you.
Mrs. Shehnaz Ismail, Head of the Department of Textile Design, will read out the citation and present the candidates from the Department of Textile Design to the Chairman of the Board of Governors for the award of degrees.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sir, I present to you the students who have been examined and have qualified for the degree of Bachelor of Design in the Department of Textile Design, to which I pray they be admitted. Hamna Hussain Soravardi passed with overall distinction. Minahil Farooq Khan passed with overall distinction. Nadia Soheb. Sabine Butt. Samia Ahmed Khan passed with overall distinction. Samira Maskatia passed with overall distinction. Sanam Chaudhary, distinction in thesis. Shazma Ali Khan. Shaila Shafi Chotani. Fatima Shah passed with overall distinction. Ifat Iqbal passed with overall distinction. Maria Raza passed with overall distinction. Meher Tareen, distinction in thesis. Pia Nimra Bakar. Rafia Moin. Sadaf Matloob passed with overall distinction. Sadia Rahman. Shehzadi Zainab Zaidi passed with overall distinction. Shazia Inayat Chaudhary. Syed Shamoon Haider, distinction in thesis. Yusra Sami Askari passed with overall distinction. Mr. Chairman, sir, if I have your permission to take a minute. I feel privileged to acknowledge the fact that the achievements of the department are the results of exemplary teamwork. I am especially proud of my junior faculty, Saira Raza, Afshin Junejo, and Imrana Raza, from the Indus Valley graduating class of 1998 for their commitment, energy, and enthusiasm. Thank you, David Preetham and Wahid Baba, our master weaver, for their contribution of many years of experience.
I request Saeed Ahmed Wasif, Coordinator of the Faculty of Fine Arts, to read out the citation, present the candidates from the Faculty of Fine Arts to the Chairman of the Board of Governors for the award of degrees and diploma.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sir, I present to you the students who have been examined and have qualified for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Art in the Faculty of Fine Arts, to which I pray they be admitted. Junaidas Chabra. Maria Karim Siddiqui. Distinction in thesis and passed with overall distinction. Naveen Haider, passed with distinction and overall distinction. Rabia Shoaib, passed with distinction and overall distinction. Thesis distinction. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I request you to declare, Mr. Chairman, may I request to accept the candidates to their respective degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as the Chairman, Board of Governors of this school, I admit you to your respective degrees and charge you that in the conduct of your life and your conversation and deeds, you do prove yourselves worthy of the same.
Academic awards are presented to graduates who have achieved a distinction for their overall academic performance. The minimum passing mark in the final assessment is 65%, whilst the distinction is awarded to students achieving 85% and above. May I request Professor Hamza Alavi to present the awards to the recipients.
Sadaf Matloob from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 97.36%.
Ifat Iqbal from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 95.82%.
Hamna Hussain Soharwardi from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 91.63%.
Sadia Kutubuddin from the Department of Communication Design, who has received 91.62%.
Yusra Sami Askari from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 90.38%.
Shehzadi Zainab Zaidi from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 88.96%.
Samia Ahmed Khan from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 88.33%.
Maria Raza from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 88.29%.
Samira Maskatia from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 86.9%.
Fatma Shah from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 86.8%.
Rabia Shoaib from the Department of Fine Arts, who has Rabia Shoaib from the Department of Fine Arts, who received 86.65%.
Minahil Farooq Khan from the Department of Textile Design, who has received 86.43%.
Babita Davani from the Department of Communication Design, who has received 86.18%.
Rizwan Ahmad Malik from the Department of Communication Design, who has received 85.77%.
Zarmeen Ismail Noor from the Department of Architecture, who has received 85.75%.
Naveen Heather from the Department of Fine Arts, who has received 85.74%.
Maria Kareem Siddiqui from the Department of Fine Arts, who has received 85.32%.
The 2000 award for outstanding research and dissertation carried out by a student of the graduating class, instituted in memory of Dr. Salimuzzaman Siddiqui, goes to Sunila Akhtar Ali from the Department of Architecture.
I now request the Executive Director, Mr. Shahid Aziz Siddiqui, to make the announcement for the Founders Award.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Founders Award is made to a graduating student who has not only excelled in his or her academic performance, but who also, firstly, showed a strong commitment to the school and the chosen profession. Secondly, participated in extracurricular activities within and outside the school. And finally, has been humble, open-minded, and mature in dealing with faculty members and with fellow students. In other words, to give recognition to the graduate who most closely reflects the philosophy of the school as envisaged by the founders. This year, the award goes to Zameen Ismail Noor of Architecture Department. May I May I steal from your thunder, please? In recognition of 10 years of continuous service to the Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture, and in token of our gratitude, the following awards are being presented. Ms. Meher Afroz, Senior Faculty, Foundation, Fine Arts Department. May I request Chairman to kindly get over. Mr. David Aylesworth, Head of Foundation here. From the staff, may I request Ms. Kamala Devi. Mr. Muhammad Usman. उस्मान आइए। Thank you, sir.
The valedictory speech will be presented by Sadaf Matloob from the Department of Textile Design. She has graduated with 97.36%, which was the highest among the graduating class of 2000.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected Chairman, members of the Board of Governors, the Honorable Convocation Speaker, Chairman Executive Committee, Executive Director, faculty members, parents, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It is a moment of immense pride and joy for me to stand here before you as the valedictorian for the class of 2000. I would first like to thank Allah, the Most Gracious, for bestowing me with this blessing. Alhamdulillah. Having the school as the focal point of our lives for such a long time, and now suddenly breaking away from its protective boundaries, is a sense of achievement, yet a very intimidating thought. A thought of great excitement and apprehension. A thought of fulfillment followed by a vacuum that we all would definitely experience. As we step into the next millennium, my colleagues and I are deeply conscious of the responsibilities entrusted on us by the school and its traditions. We are also aware that today is not merely the culmination of a 4-year quest, but the beginning of a new stage in our lives. Yet the years we have spent within this institution will come back to haunt us as perhaps the most beautiful and the most rewarding moments. Life will move on, and we will go our separate ways, but the memories will always live on. This school provided us the space, and we filled it with our spirits. We came here bemused and preoccupied, but special thanks and tribute to those people who actually created this institute and gave us the vision and perspective to look at things differently. Each and every one is responsible for this achievement, the entire faculty, the students, and the administration, and especially our heads and coordinators, Mrs. Shahnaz Ismail, Mr. Najib Umar, Shiraz Wania, Wasif Sahab, and Islam Sahab. All of them have been extremely kind, giving, and supportive. The Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture ensures that we, the students, do not operate as separate entities. We are a coherent student body, despite being in different disciplines. I am proud to say that the batch of 2000 has made a niche for itself in the history of the school, not only being the largest graduating batch so far, but also achieving achieving 30 thesis distinctions. I would personally like to thank each one for their efforts. Well done, friends. Personally, I found in this institute a chance to learn and to explore, a chance to receive knowledge and to be able to seek out and venture for new possibilities. With every successive year, I felt I grew from inside, not only in terms of my vision, but also my perception towards life and what it offers me to do. It gave me a wonderful chance to find myself, not for others, but most importantly for myself. I would like to thank on behalf of all the graduating students, our beloved parents who have supported us all along the way. Fostered us and given the umbrella of their love to enable us to successfully go through the trying period of our academic life. We have often been inconsiderate and self-centered in the quest of our studies, but this has only emanated from the confidence that they have always been a backbone through the toughest times of our lives. Another important person who should be thanked is very own Students' Council President Yusra. And her hard-working council members for organizing many joyous functions and events. Thank you, Council. I would thank all my friends who helped me during my years at Indus, my family for the support and patience, especially my mother who has been a constant support through all these years, and without her help, I wouldn't have been what I am today. Coming to the toughest part now is to thank Mrs. Shanaz Ismail on behalf of my class for not only being an excellent teacher, but for sharing her knowledge, expertise, and guidance, and for giving new perception and meaning to our lives. We thank you for your constant support and immense patience. You have not only been a teacher, but you have played a very significant role in shaping our lives. Thank you, Mrs. Ismail. Special thanks to Waheed Baba, Altaf Baba, Sheila, Fayaz, Ashraf, and other domestic staff for helping us when we needed the most. As we actually detach ourselves from this protective environment and steps into the real world, the gateway of independence seems like the most difficult step in our lives. For us, the school has been much more than the mere fulfillment of a curriculum. It has developed a strong link between all of us. To those who we leave behind and those who will continue to be at the Indus, I assure you that although we are leaving the school, we consider ourselves an extension of its identity. The initial year at Indus might seem like the toughest task on earth, and these ahead of you might seem like the most gigantic wall to climb, but we are living proofs for you. With all thanks to Almighty Allah, with the help of our wonderful teachers and the constant support of amazing friends and parents, we have finally climbed the wall, and we stand here in front of you as the graduated batch of the year 2000. We graduate today with a promise to hold the teachings, morals, ethics, and philosophy of our school. We assure you that no matter where we go, we shall inshallah make our school proud. Thank you.
May I now request the Chairman of the Board of Governors, Justice Retired Wajuddin Ahmed, to present his concluding remarks.
Professor Hamza Alavi, the convocation speaker, members of the Board of Governors, the chairman and members of the executive committee, executive director, learned faculty members, dear students, respected parents, and honorable friends. A convocation partakes simultaneously an element of joy and sadness, joy for the obvious satisfaction of achievement, and sadness for leaving behind fond memories which will never be relived. It therefore gives me immense pleasure to congratulate the graduating class, but as to that which you are leaving behind, I have no doubt that on the basis of what you have accomplished, better things await you in the practical world which you are so soon to enter. A number of themes have been touched by the learned speakers who have preceded me. Our executive director was so right when he administered caution against being judgmental. This reminds me of the well-known biblical dictum, "Judge not others, lest ye be judged." Men and women of today, more so in the third world, are motivated to secure whatever they have set out to get, irrespective of the means, fair or foul. In the process, self-interest alone predictably governs their pursuits. Elders in our families, teachers in our educational institutions, and preachers in our mosques and imam bargahs have therefore a shared responsibility to inculcate basic virtues amongst those whose lives Providence has chosen to place in their hands. Barring short periods of Muslim history, I agree with Professor Hamza Alavi that our religious as well as political leaders have singularly failed in this sphere, but so have, over the ages, our family elders and venerable instructors. Members of the class of the year 2000, the world that you are shortly poised to enter awaits to be molded by you. Harsh or placid, it will be so of your own making. To put it differently, success itself may be no yardstick, for that more often than not takes its own toll. To put it differently, end should never justify the means. Abiding results are invariably founded on much surer grounds. Do not waste any time in recognizing that what really matters in life is being honest, truthful, condescending, frugal, helpful to others, and totally trustworthy. To those who treat such paths, success may be slow in coming, but that would be more than amply offset by the attending self-satisfaction and the enduring nature of the outcome. Thus, many Pakistanis that you will encounter may be basking in prosperity, but they are by and large a condemned lot. What is worse, their exploits have brought a bad name to the country itself. Do not readily become part of that crowd. When you enter practical life, you would obviously expect to be evaluated on merit. But once that phase passes out, it will be your turn to assess others, irrespective of the fact whether you had been dealt with justly or unjustly. Do not reckon others otherwise than fairly. No considerations of race, religion, caste, or color should influence you. No motives other than the purest should be your guide. It is only thus that you may possibly extricate the fair name of your country from the mire where it presently lies. Here I am reminded that as many as 20% of you albeit in varying degrees, have been assisted in becoming whatever you are today. Those of your number who have profited from the kindness thus showered by others should not forget that this is a debt that you have to pay in kind and sooner than later. Such of you as have not directly benefited from this beneficence will be doing a greater deed if they follow in the footsteps of the people from whom so much good has emanated and will hopefully continue to emanate. In short, let me repeat, the new phase of life that you are going to confront will be yours to make or mar, and the foundation of that is going to be laid from the very first steps that you are programmed to take. This brings me to the question as to why Muslims in general have degenerated to such an extent. The subject has very elaborately been dealt with by Professor Hamza Alavi. What, however, needs to be emphasized is that the momentum which was generated by the Holy Prophet and his companions was so great that in spite of the indifferent periods of Muslim history, the nation is still holding its own and may even be ripe for revival. So outstandingly virtuous were the Holy Prophet, his progeny, and the companions, that even though the first named was the only prophet who lived during the course of recorded history, he, by all accounts, has withstood the test of history. In the first place, he was judged to be true of metal by those who came in contact with him. Many people do not know that the non-believers at the advent of Islam never condemned the Prophet as guilty of falsehood, and instead merely denied the one, that is to say the devil, who possessed him, as infusing his mind with a false message. Correspondingly, so strong was the faith of the companions that when Caliph Umar stood in front of the Hajar-e-Aswad, he addressed the black stone, saying that the latter could neither give nor take away anything from him, and yet he, Umar, would still kiss the stone for no reason other than the fact that he had seen the Holy Prophet doing likewise. A still greater manifestation of this belief is reflected in the totally unequal contest between the Prophet's grandson, Hazrat Imam Hussain, and the vast forces of the usurper Yazid. Sardad, Nadad, Dast, Dar Dast Yazid, Haqa ke binae la ilaha hast Hussain. His head he gave, but never his hand, in the hand of Yazid. In truth, causation of there is no God but God is Hussain. Significance here is the same as in Hota hai Islam zinda har Karbala ke baad. Having said as much about the legitimacy of Yazid, of the regime of Yazid, let me add that in the very house of the Umayyads, there have been notable caliphs, much as Harun al-Rashid and Mamun al-Rashid amongst the Abbasids. One such was Caliph Umar bin Abdul Aziz, whose piety and self-denial were so great that historians term him as the fifth of the Khulafai Rashdeen. What is more, as pointed out before you, while the Umayyads and Abbasids could hardly be called caliphates, their rule was essentially secular and tolerant in nature. Besides, while these dynasties decayed, others arose at different times and from different soils, and there are many such. For example, the Muslim rulers of Spain, the Seljuks, the Fatimids, the Ottomans, the Mughals, etc. Indeed, Islam, according to its own claim, being the last shape of religion, has not prescribed any form of government. Rulers that it has approved included kings, such as King Solomon, etc. Emphasis, however, in the Quran and the traditions has throughout been on the concept of shura or consultancy, which favors democracy rather than a totalitarian rule. Indeed, the ever-evolving world order may come up with something better than democracy itself, and that would vindicate the Islamic emphasis on basics such as shura or consultative governance. While on the question of secularism, the ideology of Pakistan did focus on Islam, and the Muslims did win their homeland on the platform of being a distinct nation. That, however, never was at the expense of other religious entities found either within the state of Pakistan or beyond its frontiers. Much as the Muslims are free to fashion their lives in Pakistan according to their beliefs, so are the others in their religious pursuits. On the other hand, the Union of India, which emerged on the world scene as a secular state by the passage of time, is revealing itself more and more to be a Hindu entity. Destruction of the Babri Mosque, desecration of the Golden Temple, and the current wave of enforcing a common civil code for all the Indians, irrespective of their religions, are pointers in this self-same direction. It is universally known that as Muslims, once we die, all our belongings automatically pass on to our legal heirs. We can conveniently gift away all or anything belonging to us through an oral declaration coupled with a consensual delivery of possession, and likewise a Muslim can will away 1/3 of his property, though through a mere word of mouth, and no written testament is required. These are only some of our peculiar personal law rules. Once, however, a common civil code is introduced, and all this and much more will change, and thus the fears and apprehensions of the minority Muslims expressed at the time of creation of Pakistan would regretfully come true. Therefore, little lies in mere names. Secularism, irrespective of the question whether you go by the name of an Islamic or Hindu entity, means and signifies no more than a complete freedom for all to practice their religious beliefs fairly, freely, and unhindered by any machinations of the state. Examples are many, but I would only quote that of the United States. Most of the state and other buildings there adorn triangles in various shapes, purpose quietly to reflect Trinity in divine dispensation. Likewise, each dollar note carries the words, "In God we trust." Yet, the US, much like Pakistan, ensures basic freedoms. It therefore is a secular polity. A word now about Islamic architecture. It may or may not be true that the dome and minarets of the Islamic architecture are original in nature. It is possible that some of it may have been descended from others, but then those others themselves may have banked on the originalities of yet earlier versions. As Napoleon put it, there is nothing new under the sun. The fact, however, remains that the manner and mode in which the dome and minarets have been evolved and carried to perfection by Muslim architects rightly carries their stamp on these structural devices. In the end, I would like to felicitate the founders and other members of this institution for having given us a place and a platform of which Sindh, nay Pakistan, can be proud. Such good deeds, however, should never go dry. Of new sources, in men and material. A call, therefore, should go from here to all like-minded people to come forward and associate themselves with the good work that has begun and hopefully will continue with ever greater conviction. Thank you all.
The Registrar will now request the Chairman of the Board of Governors to declare the convocation closed.
Mr. Chairman, may I request you to declare the convocation closed?
I declare the convocation closed.
The graduating students are requested to assemble near the stage for the tree planting ceremony immediately after the departure of the convocation procession. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly remain seated. After the departure of the convocation procession, further announcements will be made.
Would like to express its deep gratitude to the people who have helped in making possible today's event, particularly Mrs. Hamza.
Thank you. So happy to be here.